Hello, everybody. We are live in the SheEO district. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh, you guys got to share this broadcast tonight. We're going to have so much fun. We're going to have a fantabulous guest that's going to be on tonight. I cannot wait to interview her. She is so bubbly, y'all. So click share, click share, and get everybody on here. If you're my Facebook friend, as a matter of fact, I need to share this to my Facebook as we are getting ready to share this wonderful evening tonight. So as y'all start tuning in, come on in, come on in, come on in. A lot of our SheEO district leaders, a lot of our friends and families. Ladies, tonight, really get your single friend, your women friends on here. If you know anyone who has been through abuse in any type of way tonight, guys, you're going to love it, love it, love it. It may be a little tearjerker at moments, but I promise you tonight is going to be so fun. So kick back, go ahead and get you something to drink, get under your cover. Don't get under your covers because you might go to sleep. So kick back, just get on the recliner, the lazy boy to chase a nice recliner chair, and get you something to drink and turn your phones on silent, but share this live to your page because we want more and more women to start engaging in this SheEO broadcast weekly that we have. And this week we're talking about Health Week. And guys, it is so fun to talk about Health Week and Wealth Week and Social Week and Business Week and just know all the good stuff that so many ladies that walk this earth are doing. And so when you're around like-spirited people who are doing like things that you're doing, man, the collaboration as a whole is so beautiful. So I want you guys to just really tune in tonight. I want you to have fun on this broadcast with us. Feel free to ask a question to me and the guests that I'm going to be bringing on in another minute or so. So, hello. I'm not sure who my Facebook user is because I can't see a name attached to it. So, I'm going to also check my phone and make sure that I'm sharing. And yes, it is definitely sharing to my page too. So, I want all of you ladies to just get ready to get started with me tonight. Have a little fun. I'm going in the SheEO district. Let's see, it's 8:34, so we got like a good minute. All right, go get you something to drink. Go use the bathroom because I don't want no interruptions tonight. I want everybody to have a little fun. And let's see here. We're going to share. I'm going to share this to my page. Now, join me. See, this is called sharing, guys. So you can actually go to my page too. And you can click share from my page, which I'm doing right now. And it just posted. Make sure your volume is down because you don't want to get that echo and that feedback. Okay. So, ladies, it is 8:35 p.m. and I am getting ready to introduce a beautiful lady to you guys. And so, and again, so while I'm getting ready to bring her up and introduce her, I want you guys to sip on your sip, whatever it is that you're sipping on a Tuesday night. Just be grateful, whatever it is that you're doing, okay? So be great always, every day. Now, don't forget tomorrow is a work week, so I'm gonna need you to be back at your professional self. And so when you get ready to go to work tomorrow, don't look back on tonight and say, "Oh my God, Mary had me up all night." So I'm not gonna have you guys up all night. We're just gonna be on here until 9:30, and we're gonna have a little bit of fun. So are y'all sharing this? Sharing this? I'm not seeing like comments yet on my StreamYard. So whoever my Facebook user said hello, I'm saying hello back. Hello, hello, hello. Hope y'all can see me like really good. Let's get it started. Okay, let me tell. Okay, well, I'm going to get ready to read this bio of this young lady. Hi, Lisa. Hello, Kelly Bourne's beautiful lady. Okay. You're new to the group. Well, definitely welcome, Lisa. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Shared from TT, and I said hello, hello. So, and I won't be able to see your name on this page. I will literally have to go to my Facebook page, and I'm not able to do that yet. So, let's see here if we are ready to bring on my guest. Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're out there listening, this expert that I have the utmost pleasure of introducing to you tonight, ladies, hold on to your hats and just grab a tissue box too, because it's gonna happen like that tonight, okay? This young lady, Elder Latoya Bowden, also known as Coach LT, miraculously survived years of varying kinds of abuse that began at the age of 5. The unchecked trauma in such a young girl manifested into running away at 13, hustling and using drugs at 15. And by the age of 16, she was married and a violent abuser and stayed 10 years with him. However, she was a doting mother to her 3 small children. She managed to graduate high school, attend college, and pledge a sorority during those times while experiencing suicidal ideations. Oh my goodness. She remembered her grandmother saying to never forget God. She did not. In fact, she became an ordained elder. She served alongside the first lady of her church at the time, one who asked her one day, how can other hurting ladies believe Christ to be the deliverer if you will not believe? She left her abusive marriage that day and eventually moved to the South. She is now a certified life coach, motivational speaker, chaplain for JCSO, a radio personality, a spiritual midwife, and a business owner. She helps faith based women and men overcome past trauma, crippling depression, unsolicited rejection, and low self esteem. Learn how to take back their rightful place in God's kingdom, return to the excellence and brilliance they were created for, and remove the roadblocks to their blessings and increases. Wow, that was a powerful bio. And so at this time, Coach LT, welcome, welcome,
Hello,
welcome
everybody.
to the SheEO broadcast. It's so good to have you on tonight,
I'm
Coach
happy
LT.
to be here, guys. Y'all just don't know. Hello. Okay.
Well,
Yeah, let's have a good time.
they're definitely about to find out, girl. And I'm telling you, y'all, her laugh is so contagious. We was just backstage prior to the live, and her laugh, she will make you laugh. But you know, so Coach LT, I have to say,
Mhm,
in the midst of me reading your bio, and
mhm.
honey, right now, you're able to laugh and laugh
Oh, yeah.
genuinely without the hurt and the scar tissue of
Mhm.
what life had dealt you at such an early age.
Right.
So can you just enlighten us just a little bit about what happened to you? It says that the varying kinds of abuse happened,
Mhm.
started at the age of 5. What
Yes.
5-year-old goes through so much abuse?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I'm going to tell you, it first began because, see, now let me just backtrack here. When you're dealing with family that didn't understand at the time generational curses, okay, and so my family for a long period of time had been living this way and thought that it was a normal way of living. You know, when
Mm,
you come from a childhood of what goes on in this house stays in this house mentality, then it's
mhm,
like breaking the law when you go outside and tell somebody what's going on. So, of
mm,
course, I had 2 of my relatives that violated me and told me that was what love was. And that's how, you express love. And so that was my way of trying to, I guess, their way of trying to get me to, I guess be okay with it by saying, oh, this is the way that we love you. And at 5, I didn't understand. So, of course, I thought it was okay.
mhm,
But afterwards, I just had this feeling that this is not right. Just something don't feel right. I felt nasty. If
mhm,
that's the best way to say it without saying
mhm,
it any different. It just felt dirty. And I went to the counselor, and right when I was in the room with her, my abdomen was like on fire. I mean, the pain, I just can't even begin to tell you the pain. And so she sent me to the nurse. And at the time, my grandmother was working in the cafeteria. Okay, so they get my grandmother and they're trying to ask questions like, what's going on? You know, why? So she's in a lot of pain. We got to get to a doctor. And so, of course, and then the nurse mentioned what I said, because I did. I said, my uncles, you know, touched me and it was painful. And I asked, is this because of that? I remembered that, you know, so she mentioned that to my grandmother. My grandmother didn't say anything. All she did was tell her, well, you know, she's lying. This, you know, they children, they gonna lie. You know, I was doing something she wasn't supposed to do. You know, then, of course, it's easier to do it that way than to betray family.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, like, how dare you want to be right, and how dare you want to be safe at 5? You know, so she went, took me home. My mom found out about it. I remember that full day. It felt like, you know, I was being persecuted. You know, I mean, the moment I walked into the house, it was like all day long. And I remember going to bed and my mom woke me up and said, you know, we're getting ready to get up. We're getting ready to take you somewhere. I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking, you know, like any 5-year-old, we're just going on a trip, on a ride, you know. She's like, I'm going to take you, going to go stay with your stepdad. Okay. And I'm like, okay, what did I do? Is my sister. Now, mind you, I have a twin sister. Okay. Yes. Okay. Let me go back. I have a twin sister, and my twin and I, to this day, unfortunately, do not speak. Okay. You know, only God can take that relationship. Some things you just have to leave at the foot of the cross.
Absolutely.
Okay? But I didn't understand why she kept her, and what did I do so wrong to be written off? You know. But for 6 years living with this man, he raped me for 6 years. I finally got tired of it and ran away. Okay. Now, these are the things that even today my mother can't even discuss. And for so long, it was like it never happened. You know what I mean? And so for a while there, as I was getting older into my teens, I'm thinking intimacy was a way of showing love. So of course, you know, you begin to just go out here, you know, and it was just easy to just go lay with just, you know, every boyfriend you had, you're laying with them, you know, because in your way, the way that seed was planted, okay, grew into me thinking that was love, a way of expressing love. And I had to go to get counseling and help behind that. You know, and I had to, for a while, not even date, because you have to get yourself mentally well to be able to go to another relationship. That's a whole human being, you know, and they have their own stuff. So yes, it began there, and me telling them what happened. And that's what caused me to have to leave my home where I thought I was safe.
Wow. So now at the age of 5, and now you're going through all of this, and then you go to school, and then you tell somebody, and then you're shut down, and then your mother comes back, and then she said you're going to live with your stepfather. So at the time that you were living with your stepfather, was your mother with you?
No.
So she was not with you. She just placed you in this man's house.
Yes, said you're going to go stay with him. And when she did decide to tell me something, she was just, oh, you know, you did that against the family. And so that was your punishment. And I could not believe that.
Wow. So that had to be so devastating for you as a young girl, a minor, still not even aware of her own body, and someone else is taking advantage of your body. Right. So mentally, so at the time you know, you're going through this, and then how was the interaction daily, like between the abuse? Was it just normal? Was like he blacked out, forgot?
I'm going to say this. The house was very cold. We didn't even communicate, really. You know,
was it just you and him?
It was just me and him. Wow. Now the house was immaculate. Okay, this guy looked like a regular human being. Like, you know, some people think, some people think, oh, somebody who could a felon, you know, got to look like hood. You know, and you can be walking next to a felon and don't know it. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be careful about that, because you don't know who you're standing next to. Absolutely. You know, but this man deceived them off the rip. I mean, people thought I was lying. I finally just ran away. I said, okay.
And so your mother, she didn't see him fit enough to be with him, but she left her daughter.
Yes.
with him.
My mother has done this my whole life. You know,
So at 13, you finally got the courage, because it takes courage to absolutely make a choice to do something. And so you finally mustered up the courage and you ran away. Where did you go?
I went to a nearest friend's house. And for about 3.5 months, her mother didn't even know I was staying there.
What?
Let me tell you that we still, for a long time, we laughed for this thing about this, because she would sneak me in and I would lay like on the opposite end. The way her room was, the door, you open the door and you could see the one portion of the bed, but you couldn't see on the other side. I would literally be like right there up underneath the bed. And I mean, she would go get all this food. At one point, I remember her mom asking, "Man, you sure gained an appetite," and I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh, she's so fine that I'm in here."
So now you running away and hiding in your friend's house, but this is the safest place that you found.
Yes. And then it went from one pillow it went from one home to the next now. I mean, with one friend, one person helping here. And honestly, people ask me, no one got involved, like the state or anything. And I'm like, no. It was like I was just wrote off. Like, I mean, I could have been counted out for dead.
Wow.
No one cared to even call to see if I was okay. That's how I felt,
And so now, how did you get started with selling drugs at 16?
Oh, baby, let me tell you something. Hey, I always tell folks, don't let this fool, you just deliver Toya. Honey, yes, ain't God good? You know what I'm saying? But yes, I used to be on them streets. I used to be ruthless. You get what I'm saying? Like, cross me if you want to.
So was this a result? So was the drug selling, was this a result of you staying at one of the houses that you stayed at? So this was something that was normal.
That was just going on. And I just grew into, actually, I had started smoking. And I was like, and of course, when you're that young and you're desperate for cash, you're like, I got to do what I got to do to make it. You know what I mean? So I had to get on with it, or I mean, I probably wouldn't have made it there.
Because at this point, you feel like you're the one who's in control of your own life. So there's nobody else that you're trusting. So only at this point, Latoya could trust Latoya.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. That's right.
And so now you move from selling drugs at 15 to being married at 16.
You better know it. Signed the rights away like I was a sold pig. Okay.
So now, who was this young man you engaged with?
Oh, now this man, I met him while on the streets. Let me tell you something now. This is the thing. This beautiful looking man, honey. Okay. I mean, green eyes. I mean, just knew how to talk. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, you fall for it. I was young, 16, 17 years old. You're young, so you're just naive. You're making all kinds of naive decisions. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. So I fell for a guy that sold me a dream, only to realize after a short while that this was a nightmare brewing, but when you come from the streets, okay, you almost begin to do whatever it takes to stay there, not to go back out on the street. So then when the abuse actually started, okay, I began to think it was me. Like maybe I didn't clean up good enough. Maybe I didn't cook it good enough. This is all on me. I'm going to do better next time and see if he approves of that. You know what I mean? And so it was just anything I could do to stay in a safe spot so that I wouldn't be back on those streets.
So now how much older was he than you?
Several years older than me.
Okay. And so now you go from sexual abuse, homelessness, to married at such a young age, to almost like a father figure. So this in age. And so now the abuse, is it similar to that of the 5-year-old Latoya, or is it that more mental abuse, or is it now physical abuse?
So now it's a little bit of both, because see, now this is the thing. Now, honestly, I honestly at that point in time, I was so lost. I thought that was the right thing. to find someone like a father figure, someone like a protector, someone that, you know, would validate me. You know what I mean? And he knew all of this. He knew I was vulnerable. He knew that I had nowhere else to go. You know, and of course, that made it easier to control, you know, because he knew that I wasn't going anywhere.
And he knew about your past?
Yes, he knew about my past.
So you trusted him enough with that valuable information, and he turned it and used it for his good.
Yeah, you better know it. Every time he decided to raise his hand, he used it for his good.
Okay. So now you get to the point. So, you know, you have to be a certain type of person. You're with a person who is abusive to your mind and to your body, right? And then you have a baby. So now you don't just have one, you don't just have two, but you have three. Now, I know the majority of mothers love their children.
Yes.
So I know you see these children. Now, what are you thinking when you have these kids and you're still with this man who is controlling you mentally and physically?
I honestly thought that this would make him change.
You thought that having the baby would make the situation
I thought that having
right.
this baby would put him in a position to say, okay, now I need to get it together. Because now I have children that are looking to me to be their protector. And it's like that honestly ignited the fury in him.
Wow. You know? So it made him angrier as a person.
Made him angrier. When I would give more attention to my kids, especially, you know, when I would especially fall asleep with them or whatnot, it was almost like, you know, I'm showing them too much attention and I'm not like all eyes and ears are not on him. And so I had to learn to get to a place, excuse me, where I could begin to balance the two. So if I knew that he was coming home at a certain time, I would try to get the kids down at a certain time so I could spend with him.
So every day you're living your life in fear.
Yes.
You're living in frustration and anxiety to the point you start thinking suicidal.
Yes. I wanted out. I was like, God, listen, if this is what you have for me, I don't want this. I remember saying that in the room. I remember saying it. I remember actually taking the knife and cutting my arm. And I can tell you this here. I wanted out so bad. I was hoping to God that it would happen quickly. And then the moment I started thinking like that, I could actually see my children's faces. I could see them growing up and I could almost see them feeling the misery and pain of not having their mother there. You know? And so I said, okay, God, you have to have another plan for me. You have to have a way of escape for me, you know? And I remember going to church and still serving. Now, mind you, I'm still slacking on this smile. I'm still faking the funk. Okay. I'm still, you know, trying to be bougie and self-righteous.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So now here comes my pastor's wife. And she says to me, she pulls me to the side and she said, Latoya, I got to ask you something. She said, baby, I'm not trying to pry. I just simply, I'm concerned. And so she said, are you being abused? And the first reaction, of course, would be, what?
No, not me. Right.
I'm being abused? No. What do you mean? Why would you ask that question? And she said, honey, you might be able to fool sheep, but you cannot fool me. That's exactly what she said. Wow. And she said, how can the women of God that we're trying to impact and empower trust God to deliver when you won't trust him to? Wow. You know, why won't you just leave, walk away? God is your source. I mean, it just seemed like instantly I had a plan. Like I'm going and with just the clothes on my back and pack my kids and everything we can fit in my car. And we drove.
So you were able to leave from church and you could think about this on the way home.
You better know it. I'm fueling up.
So
I'm like,
now, so your anxiety and your adrenaline is overflowing because now you know you don't know the plan, but you have a plan.
Right. And so I don't know what to expect. Right.
Absolutely. So at any given moment, did you ever think about he would be pulling up or coming home while you were packing up?
Let me tell you what I thought. if he come in here with something, I'm about to Tina Turner him. Do you hear me? I'm gonna make this person. If I don't make it, they gonna know he been in a fight. Do you hear what I'm saying? The rest of his life. Okay. No, I said no. Come on in here. I was so tired of him. I wanted blood. Do you hear me? I said I wish he would. I've taken your abuse forever. You crazy?
So I have to ask right here because I'm a silly type person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who watching and knows me know this, okay? If you ever seen The Color Purple, you seen The Color Purple. you seen the scene where Silly was running around the room and the room was spinning and Mister was coming and she was packing up, and then when she looked up, it was the dummy standing there. She knocked him right on out the way.
Come on.
But she was determined to go with Suge. You know what I mean? So, and I say that to say, and I know somebody out there laughing, but I say that to say, when you have that adrenaline that starts to take over you, and see, people don't really understand the true adrenaline until they have to use it. That's the same strength that if your child, if you walk out to the garage and the husband that you loved, in love with, and that car was on top of him, you would get that car off of him. And
come on, you better know it.
If it was somebody you like, well, God, if this your sign, take him on up out of here. You know,
I know that's right. Now, Lord.
Right? Lord, if this your will, let thy will be done. Okay. So, because I mean, who are we to question God?
Come
right?
on. That's why he said that the ass kind of they can't ask.
Absolutely. I'm here to tell you. So now going through, so now you got this whole thing of suicide, but now you know your kids are going to need you, and you can kind of see that, foresee the separation that you have with your mother when she dropped you off at the stepdad's house, right? So now you said, I'm not going to let none of this hold me. So you went on and you graduated high school. At what point did you get back into school?
Oh my gosh, I was in school the entire time. This is the thing everybody got to understand. I looked, how I dressed when I went to school was totally different how I looked at night. I would cover up. I mean, cover up. Like you couldn't, have to be right up on me to see portions of my face. I was had people in my school didn't even know who I was until my senior year. When I walked in there like papaya, like I'm about to take over. Yeah, I knew I was bad, honey. A size 6, child, yes. Okay. And so folks looking like, who this woman is, and so I'm like, I've been with y'all for 4 years. Y'all just now realizing, yes, but that was because of, I was married time, and I'm like thinking I'm all that, you know what I'm saying? But yes, I mean, school maintained.
Wow. So not only
that up because my family, I have to say this because my family counts me out, still do. And they often used to tell me when I was like 5, I remember hearing it, often say, oh, you ain't gonna be nothing. You ain't gonna have nothing. She gonna be just like, so and so and so and so in the family, this, that, and that. I mean, it was never anything positive. It was negative all the time. And so you begin to try to find affection from every relationship you have, and it almost seems like people call a crowd or over smother someone because you're looking and searching for that affection you tried to get at 5 and 6.
Wow.
But we don't know that comes, we bring that into our future relationships and don't even know it.
And don't even know baggage. Absolute baggage. Absolutely. So now, not only does it, so after reading, I mean, I just have to stay here that, so not only did you graduate high school, you attended college, graduated,
better know it.
And also pledged as a sorority. And we all, if you pledge in anything in college, honey, that's so much of your time.
Yes.
Even right there. So for you to do all these things, who was your backbone while you were raising your children in an environment that you didn't want to be in?
Now, up until I could say my senior year, it was people from my churches, a lot of they call mothers, of the church would take me under their wings. They would take care of me. They would make sure my children were okay. They would make sure that we were fed, down to, just plain members. They looked out for me and my kids. They knew what was going on. They knew that, of course, he was military, and they knew that the military, was protecting him, and so it was like, okay, we got to do something for her. We got to do something. We got to crowd ourselves around her. That's why I love the village. because we need to get back into that. We need to sometimes be the family and be the village, even if we're not blood, because it's hard raising children out here.
Yes.
But, it was easy because they kept me focused on what was important. And that was keep your eyes on Jesus. Okay. He is the one that's guiding. He's your guiding light. He's going to guide you through. Just keep your eyes on him. And I made that my purpose. Even when I was on the streets and me and my kids were living in shelters. Okay. I kept my children in ministry. My children, all three of them by themselves, while we were, towards like the end of service and you're in prayer, your eyes are closed. All three of my children, without telling me, walked up to the altar and gave their lives to Christ.
Wow.
This is the reason why I tell any parent, never give up. What you're doing is not in vain. Every prayer, every tear, God has heard them. God is saying he's going to honor them. Okay, so no, you can only do your very best. And your children go out here and make mistakes, that is on them and between them and God. It is not saying that the parent is not good. It's not saying the parent don't know what she's doing. It's simply saying the parent did her best and they chose to leave it on the table. So it's up to them at that point. It's no longer the parent's fault. And so parents need to stop living in condemnation, because that is only from the enemy. And I bind that trick.
I know that's right.
Come on.
Now. Listen, don't you start up in here. We got 30 more minutes to go. So now, Coach LT, question for you. So at any of this time, when you stepped out on faith, and you had to have the faith the size of a mustard seed for all that you have been through. And so at any time, did he come looking for you and the kids?
Of course, yes. I mean, when me and my kids first stopped in Georgia, we were in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay. And this man searched for me like, honey, you would search for gold. Okay. Like I was his prized possession. Like without me, he couldn't do nothing. Okay. And it made it hard for me to be able to stabilize. So I ended up going back to this man now. And that's why I tell people, after I left, this is why I tell people, it is not easy. We cannot say, to someone who's being abused, I would leave. It's not that simple. There is so much more there that is attached. Like this person's mind has been completely confined and transformed to be controlled. So the best thing we can do for people that go back is to pray for them and encourage them in the Lord. They have to make that decision themselves. They really, because the more you pressure them, the more they're going to resist.
Absolutely.
So, and that's what happened. My grandmother, my mom, they was like, you married to this man got money. You need to go back to him. You tweeted this, how you ain't gonna raise your kids like this. And I'm thinking, okay, what happened to baby? We got you. You can come home. You're going to be safe. And, this is what I expected to hear from family. Okay. But I ended up going back and it got worse. The abuse got worse. Okay. Around this time now, because this ain't in my bio, but I'm about to share it. Okay. Because somebody need to hear it. Okay. I caught my sister and my ex together. And let me tell y'all something. I want us to honestly believe something here. Okay. There is a certain type of strength inside of you, sweetie, you don't even know yet. It hadn't introduced yourself to you. It hadn't introduced you to it yet. Okay. Be very careful about your anger. Be very careful. Because the one thing I tell any believer, I don't care how saved you are, the moment something really hits you and cuts you, you are capable of anything. Okay. This is why you have to be mindful of every decision you make when it comes to who you're dating and who is in your space. Because if you make the decision to have homie there, guess what? You're going to have to do everything in your power to keep homie. Okay. But if God placed him there, God got him. Okay. And your relationship has no choice but to be blessed because God ordained it. So that's why we have to be careful. I chose him. So I had to take 50% responsibility for what happened, for my kids hurt, because we are so quick to say, it's all his fault. He didn't know, but what did we could have had some responsibility in this too now. Did we choose to continue on letting? Did we choose to continue to allow and let my kids see? Yes, I did. And so that's the regret I lived with for a long time until God delivered me from it. So that's why it's important.
So all of the abuse that him and you went through, did he ever take it out on the kids as well?
No.
So he
No,
loved the kids.
he loved on the kid. I mean, yes, that it was a knockout drag out regarding my kids and his family. Oh my goodness. What? Honey, that's the couch. Okay. I could talk to you about that all day. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing now. It's amazing how people will cover. And they were pastors. One of them told me I needed to sleep with him and he'll change. I said, look at their foolery. Is these folks high?
Well, you had already been sleeping with him, right?
Yeah, I said, that ain't helping. That's like it making it worse, honey. What? Y'all need to close them. What's wrong? Come on now, child. I'm a clink, clink. Yeah, anyway, my dear say, yes. Clink, clink, honey.
Okay,
No, ain't a turn on, that's a turn off.
Oh my goodness. So can I ask, did you suffer more of a percentage of verbal abuse, mental, or physical?
Honestly, all of them equal.
Really?
I was told I was fat. I mean, I could show. I'm gonna send you a picture when we're done. I can show you a picture. Like, oh my goodness, Latoya, is that really you? I mean, my God, I was string bean. Okay, and he told me I was fat, and I actually believe this is how controlled I was. I actually believed I was fat. The doctors had that.
When you have people who are dominancy, when they are
Yes.
controllers by nature, and a lot of times, you know, men and women, when they bully in a relationship, a lot of it has to go back to their childhood because they were bullied.
Yes.
And so now they have to find somebody who's weaker than them. But the problem is they pull you in with the kindness, with the hugs, and
yes. Oh, you so beautiful. You know, with smile like Connect King Cole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that promise of I'm not going to be the one to hurt you, you know, and then, but not only are they the one that hurt you, they're the main one that hurt you. And, and this is how we have so much death, accidental death, because people's decisions lead to their choices, and their choices is a lifetime curse, you know, and it's like, so in order for us to be better than who we were before, we all need God. We need the book. We need to read. We need to have that relationship. We have to carry that faith. And so for you being such a strong person, and I'm so proud of you that you made it through. So now all of this led you to becoming a coach. You're a radio personality. You're in the church, you're a minister. So now, so all of this brought you here. And so now when you see the devil himself, and do you ever run into him?
No, we rarely speak, you know. I mean, you know, like I tell my babies, and they're not babies, they're grown, but like I tell them, you know, well, one of them is, I have two, you know, nearly grown boys, but you know, I kind of let them have their own reign and space to speak with him. You know, I honestly could care less to speak with him, and I don't wish him any, you know, ill treatment or anything like that. No, that door was closed a long time ago, and I feel like I don't want to open the door. So out of respect, you know, as a man, you talk to my man. You get what I'm saying? And y'all two together have a conversation about our home, because he's the head of this house. So
that's right.
You know, at the end of the day, I got to do what's right by my Boaz. Okay. And so, you know, we ain't gonna do that. Okay. So now he needs to remain still in his lane and do what he can do on his part. That's all you got to do.
Absolutely. So now, I don't know the age range of our Facebook viewers that are actually following the broadcast this evening, but what I do want to ask you to just kind of touch on the first signs of abuse, to not get them mixed up with love. You know, if there's any young lady out there right now that's actually listening, and somebody may be going through, and somebody may be, you know, sometimes things will happen to you. It's kind of like the wind blowing, and you don't know if it's a whistle or you don't know what it is. So you take that double look. So in a relationship, in a new relationship, a lot of times we as women, because we are the rib, right? And so we struggle with a lot of emotion, and we can be tough all day, but we still smushy, right? And so a lot of times we don't comprehend abuse at the beginning and how it starts.
Mhm.
So can you just kind of touch on a little bit of things for women not to mistake abuse, love, verbal, how it starts out joking, but
Mhm.
literally it starts to be serious?
Okay. So now the first thing that we have to be careful for, in any relationship, like I said, just make sure, i.e., that you're asking God about every relationship. That's just to put that out there. But these are some key signs that you need to pay attention to when it comes to abuse. Okay. Now, let me just say this. There's some who will say, well, you don't have any licenses to tell us what abuse is. Now, I'm a victim, not survivor. I got plenty of experience to tell anybody how to get out of abusive situations. I've been advocating and stuff for years. So I may not have a degree in it, but I'm very well served and honey. I'm very established. Okay.
Absolutely. Okay.
But what you have to look at is control is the first thing. Now, we're not just saying control when it comes to you as a person, controlling your finances, control in the bedroom, controlling who you get to hang around. Now, let's be clear. If you can't be free to have even a social media account, that is a red flag.
Mm.
If you can't be free to talk to your family, friends, or whomever you've been talking to prior to if there is now an issue with you now being able to talk and hang out with your friends, that is a red flag. Okay, so let's be very clear about those right there. They love to control and take away your control over everything, and they do it little by little. How my ex started was, okay, at first it was, I don't like that particular garment. But though when he met me, he saw me in that particular garment. Okay. So I started going, well, you don't like it? Well, I'll go change. And I started allowing him to dictate what I would wear. Okay. So then before I knew it, my whole wardrobe changed. And I started looking like some nun, honey, and folks didn't recognize me. Okay. So, and therefore I'm defending this man, and people were like, this thing, there's something wrong with this, Then it went from that to, I don't need a job. Okay. What I need a job for. Okay. I make plenty of money. What you need a job for? So went from that to, I'm thinking, oh, he just wants to take care of me. He want to keep me, honey, and I was up here, thinking this was a good thing. And then it went from that to, well, I'll take over the finances. Thinking, okay, why? Did I do something wrong? So it started with that. And then, well, no, this is just what men do. Now, mind you, had I had a father, a real father in my space, I would have been taught this. I would have understood what to look for. Now, I had no clue this was a wrong thing. I'm thinking because he's the head of my home, he has every right to make that decision. Went from that to, what you need to go to church for? You can have church here. We got a whole television, and I'm going to tell you guys this. Y'all may think that that's small, but that is a red flag. Okay. Because you are not to be controlled in any form. If a person can't, accept and embrace you the way you are, okay, then that's a red flag by itself. Okay. So the changing has to come from you. But it went from that to me not being able to really go and shop by myself at all. Okay. And then of course, he went from there to the first slap. He came home and everything seemed fine. I remember he came through one particular area of the house and saw that, I cleaned the kitchen up really good. I made his dinner, and all because I didn't cook the steak good enough, he slapped me.
Which we know it really wasn't about the steak.
It wasn't about the steak. This was about, listen, I'm about to let you know who in charge. Okay. That's what that was. Okay. And then, but now I'm thinking, oh my goodness. Now this whole time I'm just making all these mistakes and I'm not getting it together, and he's still taking care of us. Now I'm putting this on me. You get what I mean? Like, okay, I need to get it right. And then he started realizing that he had some control, and he took it a step further. The slaps ended up becoming almost nearly rape in the bedroom. I had no say so in intimacy. It had to be his way, and he would make me feel guilty for saying I didn't want it that way. They would make me feel guilty, and they love to make you feel guilty for something they did. They love to manipulate and flip it. So let's be very clear. If the ball is in his court, if he's done something, let it remain in his court. Don't you take his wrong to make him right. Okay, don't do that. You take a stand and you stand from where you are. Don't let this man know that he can sit here and control you. Okay, no one should be able to do that. And that's how it all began. And then it just progressed from there. It just went from slaps to punching me in my stomach. I mean, even when I was pregnant with my kids, I mean, he would fight me, and I remember one time he actually choked me unconscious and brought me back and then said to me, I want me to take you to the hospital. Like it was a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. And when you go to the hospital, you can't tell them I did this.
Yeah.
If you tell them I did this, okay.
They're going to lock me up.
Yes. Okay. And then the kids need me. They need the both of their parents. They're so persuasive to make you think that, okay, well, you know what? He's going to change. He's going to do it. I'm going to tell you something. They hit you one time, they'll hit you again.
Yeah.
Anybody that will sit here and raise their hand at you to hit you with no apparent reason. You get what I'm saying? They just sitting here just putting their hands on you for no reason at all. You know what I'm saying? Baby, sweetheart.
I know you saved now, Latoya, but an eye for an eye now, right?
Say it. Yes, you get what I'm saying. Okay, thank you. You just took it right out of my mouth. Okay. Then some things people expect me to talk with the utmost integrity, honey, but I got to go and switch it up sometimes. Let's keep it real. Queens, let's get to learn how to keep things real. We got to learn how to talk about stuff, man.
I'm telling you, because do you ever think about the very first time that he put his hands on you about that steak? That while you was cooking, you should have threw it on him while it was good and hot.
I wanted to take that whole hot skillet and like my dad said, grit ball and just knock onto I want to knock him through the skillet.
That's the problem with women. Because we are emotional, we're carried by emotions and love. So you done played the whole thing out in your mind. I should just burn him. I could just throw this hot food on him. And then you thinking, oh, but he'll be so hurt. He can't take that kind of pain. Yep. But all the while, he abusing and hitting and hurting you. So, I encourage every woman that's watching this, I tell y'all right now, that's why I'm not married yet. Because my nerves ain't good.
I love what this user said. He needed help. It was him dealing with something within himself. I'm going to tell you something. I love that Facebook user. I love that you said that, because the one thing that we have to realize is that all of those are symptoms. Fear of when someone likes to control you, those are symptoms. There is a source, a root to it. When you find out what that source and root to it is, then now you can begin to bind some stuff up. You get what I'm saying? There are some unresolved issues that had not been dealt with, and this is why it is important for us to deal with mental health.
Yes, yeah. Somebody said, I thank God for deliverance. I do too, honey, but sometimes God take too long. And so you got
I'm not gonna be like, Jesus, wait, Jesus, now they say you're an on time God. Where you at, Lord?
I'm just saying, you know the one thing that we always run around say now, we go through this whole, we don't want to talk about political stuff like that, but still, like with race, that we're starting to deal with a little bit more regularly than we have been over the last however many years. But one of the things we say, I'm not my ancestor. And so, when we say that, it means don't think about trying on me what you thought you could do to them, because I'm not going to take it the same way.
Exactly.
As women, we have to be right there mentally when a guy, and that's the only thing I can literally share and tell anybody. If it happens the first time, you need to nip it in the bud. So whether it's you leave, I'm gone, or you give it back to him. And 99.999% of the time, you have to give it back to him, because he needs to see you not a weakling, he or she, because you have women that are in, one-on partner relationships, same gender. And so a lot of these women are as aggressive as a man, so women don't get it mistaken. If your lover is another woman, you need to still look out for these same kind of signs, because a lot of times these people want to be the only person you depend on.
Mm-hmm.
And so in order for them to make that happen, these are all the kind of things that they do. They make sure you stay in the house. They make sure you don't have a job.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't tell nobody nothing. They pull all your friends from you.
Yep.
They'll make it where you're not even connecting to your relatives. You ain't
Mm-hmm.
going over there on the holidays. And so now they don't have to worry about when they do something to you and leave you home. Don't nobody else want to be bothered with you because you've already been
Push them away. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So
And that's the whole thing. And they do, and it'll start off so slow, and just to kind of pick just to see.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm telling you, the first time you are hit or you are disrespected or verbally abused, don't say, oh well, because I'm not being physically hit, it ain't as bad. Yes, ma'am, it is. And yes, sir, it is. Yes. So I'm telling you, I don't care if they call it you ain't it. You ugly. Oh, and I'm talking about that is a verbal abuser.
Whatever. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
If they want to take the money and they tell you can't go and take them now, they got to hand you an allowance. Hand me what? You get what I'm saying? But hand you an allowance, baby. That is a sign of abuse. Okay, so we got to be careful of that. And then some people will tell me, "Oh, well, we've been married, 40-some years, 50 years. He been doing it." Okay, this ain't 1955. You know what I'm saying? This is 2021. You get what I'm saying? So
absolutely,
things have shifted and changed. I'm not going to let no man put his hands on me. What? Not now. That old Toya died and been set free. You get what I'm saying? So I wish you would with this one.
So Toya, when is the last time that you had to face, like how many years have you been free from an abusive relationship?
10 years.
10 years. That is awesome.
10 years.
That is awesome. So basically Latoya was reborn into Coach LT. And Coach LT became the motivational speaker, the chaplain. And what is JCSO?
Jefferson County Sheriff's Office.
Okay. So you're a chaplain for Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. Yes. And also a radio personality. Tell us a little bit about that.
So yes, I am the host of the Orchard Show on Total Entertainment Radio. All hits, all entertainment, all the time. Oh,
and so how would people tune in to that radio show?
Well, you can actually go on to Facebook, go to Total Entertainment Radio Facebook page. You can click the use app button. It'll bring you right on in. I am 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come on in, check me out.
All right, love it, love it. And now, spiritual midwife. Care to elaborate a little bit?
Okay, so this is what I do. I love it. I assist in helping each and every person, each and every sister and man of God that comes into my space discover or deliver their purpose. Okay, I'm there to just assist you. If you're trying to figure out your new journey and where you're wanting to go, all I'm there to do is to assist you and get you to your next level. So I enjoy it, love it, love it.
Love it. And now this last, you say, I help faith-based women and men overcome past trauma. Do you find a lot of men that have went through any type of spousal abuse?
Yes. I did a forum once and it was 2 men. And see, this is the thing. A lot of people don't know how to deal with same-sex marriage, and especially when you're dealing with domestic violence, because they're looking at it like, okay, 2 men, they're both aggressors, but that's not necessarily true. Okay. So I've had one guy who I had to counsel and get him through it, and it was pretty hard for him because, he didn't expect that. He fell in love with this man. And then there was another guy that I coached through. And, to my understanding from the last time we spoke, he was thriving and striving. I'm telling you. So, it just takes that step. But the second gentleman, he ended up going back. But he got through it and he took that major step and he stayed away. So.
Okay.
But it's not easy. It's not easy. We have to be careful. It's not easy.
Well, and the thing about it too is, Coach LT, is men have emotion just like women do.
Yes.
And, and a lot of times, when they're, and I don't want to say confused about their sexuality, but when they are in a same-sex relationship, same gender relationship, they tend to be more sensitive. Right. And that level of sensitivity seems to block, cloud their judgment. And so a lot of them, it all stems back to how you were loved as a child. Were you connected or disconnected from your mother, from your father? Were you bullied? Were you rejected? Were you molested? And a lot of molestation is now the whole result of gender, gender love. So we have to keep that in mind. We have to love everybody the same, and treat them the same, and counsel them the same. I'm a life coach myself, and so when you have to counsel people and meet them where they are to bring them through their hurt and their pain, to get to make it become their past. Right. So I really commend you for that.
Oh, praise the Lord.
So now, crippling depression, unsolicited rejection, low self-esteem, learning how to take back their rightful place in God's kingdom. When people get to that safety, when they really know that now I'm free, and I'm free, and I'm free again because I've been released from that hurt and that pain, like that has to bring some type of true joy, knowing that you helped them through that circumstance.
Yes, I love it, love it, love it. And the wonderful thing about this is that I get the opportunity to walk with you through your journey. Like, I get to coach you through like the things that I enjoy doing day to day as a coach, coach you through so that you can begin to heal. And let me be clear, we got to stop fearing healing because of the pain. You can't get to the healing without feeling some of it. Have you ever had a broken finger? If you've ever had a scratch or a cut, it takes time to heal. They are all wounds. They all have to be treated, but they all are different. You get what I'm saying? So we do need to deal. We just need to deal. But yes, I mean, at the end of the day, I have to say this when I got to step back here and just say this. We are real queens. Okay, you were born into royalty. Okay, you didn't pick up being a queen 5 years ago when you started owning a business. You didn't pick up being a queen 10 years ago when you got married and your husband said you was a queen. You've been a queen. Some of us have chosen to drop our crown and just do everything.
Wow.
Okay. We got to choose to put back on our crown, because some folk ain't meant to be around you. Some things you're not meant to entertain. There's a lot of stuff in a lot of places you just can't go. Okay.
That's true.
It will taint you. It'll taint your journey.
That is so true. And oh my gosh, I'm looking at the time, Coach LT. We have 1 minute for me to wrap up this live, but I'm telling you, I definitely would love to have you back, do another interview. We'll definitely check with the SheEO district. I just want to say, like, to you, if survival, if the picture of survival had to have a face, you would definitely be it. And I commend where you come from. I praise God for where you're going. And I just really appreciate you taking the time out tonight. And I'm so thankful that you were able to wear your crown the way that you should be able to wear it. From that little girl that was 5 to this beautiful queen sitting here today, I really, really, really tilt my crown to you. So you wear your crown and you wear it straight.
Amen.
Can you do me a really quick brief and just let everybody know how to get in touch with you right in the broadcast?
Okay. How you can reach me, you can actually go onto my Facebook page, Latoya Reese, that's REECE. You could actually reach out to me on Instagram at The Orchard Show. You can inbox me, or you can actually email me at theorchardlive@yahoo.com. Or you can email me at Elder L. Bowden, BOWDEN, @outlook.com.
That is awesome. So I definitely want to say, God, I hope you just continue to keep this young lady and all of her endeavors and everything that she goes through while she's touching lives, making changes, and shifting her crown to save others. And I know that you'll keep watch over her and everybody else. All of these things we ask them in the mighty, graceful, precious name of Jesus. And I have to say to everyone in the Facebook users that has jumped on to this broadcast tonight, I really enjoyed all of your comments. You guys stay tuned for the rest of the Health Week. That's coming. We'll come back again. Hopefully Coach LT will be another visit.
Yes, I'll be back in the house.
And remember this, ladies and gentlemen that's on the call, your trauma is not your fault.
That's right.
Healing is your responsibility. There's plenty of people to reach out to. My name is Mary Hambright. I am the CEO and founder of B.O.L.D, Building Outstanding Leaders Daily. I am a certified life coach, a co-author, or author, and the new members director of the SheEO district. And I look so forward to coming back here again and sharing a broadcast with you. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.